Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is War Machine. Welcome to Fat Guy Fitness. Before we get started today, I need you to do two things for me. I need you to head on over to Chaotic Squirrel Creations, okay? And I'm gonna put their logo here, and their URL is gonna be down in this general vicinity. I need you to check out what they have in their store, okay? They make all kinds of cool stuff. They made me the Fat Guy Fitness hoodie ×3. They make water bottles. They make coffee cups. They do jewelry. There's other types of clothing. There's this really cool thing called a cold smoke tumbler. It's amazing. Check them out. Ryan and Alicia are two of my absolute favorite people in the world, and they can do just about anything. So if you have an idea, I'm sure they can come up with a concept. Second thing I need you to do, like, subscribe, and follow. That way there, whenever I create content, you guys get to see it. I'm working on linking my stuff here and there, but in the meantime, until I get it all situated, it's not that hard. Like, subscribe, follow, okay? Appreciate it. Now, let's get started with what we're talking about today. This video is a beginner's video. It is going to be talking about deadlift, okay? It's going to be a little bit long. It's going to be a little bit dry, but I promise you, if you follow the directions in here carefully, you will find yourself building a beautiful base for these deadlifts, and then when you decide you want to start programming and start lifting heavy, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier. All right, so the very first thing we want to talk about is the two types of deadlift. You have sumo and you have conventional. We're going to start with conventional, okay? So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the bar. If you look right over here over my shoulder, you're going to see a deadlift bar. It's actually a power bar, but so for this bar, in order for it to work, what you're looking for is you want knurling on the outside of these rings. You'll see rings on the bar. They're 81 millimeters apart. The reason for that is because it has to do with competitions and all that stuff. I'll do another video about it later. But on this bar that I'm using, it's a power bar. So it's going to have knurling in the middle too, because I can use it for deadlift, bench press, and squat. The knurling is nice and deep and rough, so it bites into the skin really well, gives you a beautiful grip. You'll notice mine's got chalk on there because I lift heavy, and sometimes I just need a little extra grip. Anyway, so next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the plate. If you look at this plate here, you're going to see that the bar goes through the center of that plate, okay? We want that plate to be one of the bigger plates. So if you go to a gym that's got bumper plates, chances are the 10s, 15s, 25s, 35s, and 45s are all going to have the same shape and size, but they're going to be thinner or thicker depending on how much weight they are. That's a huge, huge plus. We want roughly 9 inches between the hole and the floor on that plate. Some plates are going to be a little bit different, give or take, like maybe half an inch or whatever. What we don't want to do is we don't want to put the 5s, 10s, and 2.5s and the 25s on there with the iron plates, because your height is going to shrink, and what that does is that's going to get you into something called a deficit position, and we don't want to worry about that when it comes time to do regular deadlifts. Deficits are a great thing that can be programmed at another time, and I can certainly do a video down the road on how to do that. But right now, we're just talking about beginner deadlift. You gotta, I'm looking, oh, sorry, excuse me for a second, I'm drinking iced tea today. Okay, so we talked about the bar, we talked about the plate. Now, what we're gonna do, you're gonna see it right over my shoulder here. Let's give it a second. Editing's awesome. So we're going to walk up to the bar, and my feet placement for conventional is very, very important, okay? I'm going to place my feet so that the bar is over the middle of my foot. I don't want it tight against my body, and I don't want it over my toes. I want to keep it over the middle of my foot before we start this lift. Next thing you're going to notice is my feet. My feet are a little bit turned out. You can have them straight, that's fine. I like mine turned out. You know, between here and here is fine for the conventional deadlift. And the other thing I want you guys to pay attention to is my hands. Okay, so I'm going to put a picture, well, a few of them up here, and they're going to go through 3 different pictures. The first one's going to be a double overhand grip, so a double pronated grip. The second one is going to be a mixed grip with the palm of the right hand up. And the third one's going to be a mixed grip with the palm of the left hand up. Okay, all those are going to do is those are going to give us a little bit more power when it comes to lifting more and more heavy weight. So you're going to be able to grip the bar a little bit better, and you'll see some results that'll get to be a little bit differently. So we've discussed foot position, we've discussed hand position. Now let's go ahead and talk about our body position. Excuse me, holy cow, I thought I was going to sneeze. So when I do this, when I do a conventional pull, I'm going to go ahead and get up there. My feet are going to be a little bit, they're going to be a little further apart than shoulder width. You can keep them shoulder width. But I found that if you spread them a little bit more, it tends to be a little bit more comfortable, especially if you're a bigger guy like me getting into these tight positions. So I'm going to have my feet spread the way I need them, and my hands are going to grab the bar outside of my knees, okay? And I want to stay close to my legs. So that's where these rings come in. When you're doing competitions, you have to have the index finger has to maintain contact with those rings. That's the minimum or the maximum grip you're allowed to have. So as long as your fingers, any part of your fingers, these 4 fingers, is touching that ring, it's a good grip. It's a nuance, and it doesn't really affect us, but it really does. So now, when I do this, I'm going to rotate my shoulders back like this. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll turn to the side, maybe you can see it. I'm going to rotate my shoulders back here, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my shoulder blades to converge. So like I'm cracking a nut. Then I'm going to take a deep breath and push my chest out. When I'm down in the hole in the very bottom position, I'm going to tighten everything. Hands are going to crush that bar. Okay, that's going to activate that central nervous system. I'm trying to crush that bar with my hands. The very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten my shoulders and chest. I'm going to tighten my lats. And then when I get my hips at the right height, I'm going to feel it. Okay, that bar is then, when I go to move it, I'm going to push my feet down through the planet, and I'm going to try to kick China in the face. While I'm doing that, I'm pulling that bar up. So my body is going from this tight position to this tight position. Okay? And when I do this, I want to make sure that my feet don't move. So we're going to use what I like to call rooting. You're basically trying to root your feet into the ground. You're going to pretend that your 5 toes each have a claw, steel claw, and then you're going to also pretend that there's one coming off the heel of your foot, and they're going to grab the ground, and they're going to frickin' open up and go just like that, like a claw. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep you grounded, and that's going to make sure that you have a solid lifting platform, which is your feet there. So if you go to a commercial gym, you may not want to be barefoot. Some gyms will let you, some won't. You want to wear shoes, okay? You want to wear shoes. This is a weightlifting shoe. You don't need to get crazy and buy these, okay? These are only if you're going to be seriously considering this as a sport, okay? You don't need to go nuts and get these. You want a shoe that's got a flat bottom, okay? So you can get a pair of Chuck Taylors. You can get a pair of wrestling shoes. The thinking used to be you could use hiking boots. I don't recommend doing that. And the reason why is because it has a lot to do with the way the shoes are generally shaped. So with your running shoe, you'll notice that it's more shaped like this. Your toes pointed up, and that's because as you run, you're going to run and push off. With a flat bottom shoe, you're not really doing that. So also, you want to make sure your toes can spread inside the shoe. So a little bit wider of a shoe is going to be a much better option than those narrow tight shoes. Anyway, so sorry, I had to I'm gonna also put there's gonna be some tags and stuff in the video, and some descriptions in the comments. So anyway, so now we're in this conventional deadlifting position. We drive our feet through the ground. We extend our body. We're pulling this right up our shins. We're trying to scrape the skin off the shin. And we want to keep the bar tight to our body and our quads. And then when we lock out, our shoulders go back and down like that, and we hold it, okay? So I'm going to put a couple of videos up now. The first video is going to be, well, all these videos are going to be me. But the first video is going to be me doing a conventional deadlift, and it's going to be a straight on shot so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like when you approach the bar. Okay. The second video is going to be it's going to be the same lift, but it's going to be from the side. Okay. What I want you really to pay attention to is that neutral spine. You can even pause it. I would pause it because you'll see me get locked in, and then as I lift the bar, my hips and shoulders come up at the same time. My spine is here. I'm not rounded. Okay. And my shoulders are still locked back, and I'm looking forward. I'm not looking down, I'm not looking up, I'm looking forward. Okay, so that's going to maintain a neutral spine. And when I get in a hole, I take a deep, deep breath, and that helps to expand my chest cavity here and my abdominal cavity down here. So we call it the thoracic cavity. So I'm going to expand all that, and if I'm wearing a belt, I want to brace against it. This video, I'm not wearing a belt, but here's a video of it from the side. Okay, so my ear itched. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about sumo grip. Sumo grip's a little bit different. Our feet are going to be much wider apart, and our hand grip is going to be down in the inside of our legs. Okay, and when we otherwise, all of the dynamics are the same. It's just the body positioning is a little bit different. You'll notice that the hips are a little bit lower, and the shoulders, where when you're doing a conventional deadlift, our shoulders are either even with or slightly behind the bar. Sumo, our shoulders are going to be over the bar, maybe a little bit in the front, not too much. And then that pull is going to be generated by our quads here. I'm tapping my legs like you guys can see. That pull is going to be generated by our quads, and the same thing is I'm still pushing down, I'm still rooting in, and I'm still trying to kick China in the face, and I'm still trying to pull as I push. So I'm still going. How did I do it last time? I'm still going from here to here, but the path is going to look a little bit different, and that's because of the way the feet are. So I put my feet in, and as you can see right here under the bar, my feet are still. The bar is still midway at the midpoint of my foot, but my feet are much wider. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab and I'm going to sink down into it, and I'm going to pull this bar against my legs, right against the shins. And again, as I expand up, I'm still pulling and pushing. I still get that deep breath in, and I'm still locking it out, only my hand position is a little bit different. Instead of being next to my body, they're inside of my legs, so it's going to feel a little different. When we lock out, we want to make sure we really squeeze those butt cheeks together and force our hips forward. Okay, that's going to help with the lockout. That's going to make you a more stable lifter. If your butt is still sticking out, then you haven't locked it out, and then you're transferring the load from the muscles that move to the muscles that support, and that's going to be in the lower back, and that's never going to be a good thing. So it's very important we want to do it this way. So here's a video of me pulling sumo from the front. Pretty simple. The concept is still the same, just the feet and hand placement's a little bit different. Okay, I'm still maintaining that neutral spine, which you'll see now when I put when I pull sumo from the side view. So let's watch this one. And every time we do a rep, it's controlled up, controlled down. Okay, we're not freaking trying to bang, 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 because then if you can't control the bar, then you're not exercising properly. You become dangerous. You become that guy that's going to break stuff, and nobody wants to lift with you because you look like a jackass. And just terrible, terrible things. Like with everything else, form is huge, you know. So again, all of the same concepts apply. And what I'll do is I'll put a little link here for some of you guys. Some of you guys are going to want to take this and turn it into a sport that you actively participate in, and you're going to want to program so that you can increase your weight and get stronger. Some of you guys are going to want to do this as just an accessory that just keeps you moving, and that's fine too. But this is a beginner video. Now, the person I'm going to link you guys to, his name is Ryan Matthias, and he has his own company, and it's the Matthias method. It's very helpful, and he can work with people that are starting on their first day all the way through seasoned pros. Okay, and he writes programs and stuff. So on YouTube, you're going to see a tag up here somewhere. Click on that, it'll bring you to his YouTube page. On Instagram and Facebook, there'll be tags in the description, and if you click on those, you'll be able to see his page. It'll pop right up, and you can reach out to him. And I may even throw his website link in here somewhere. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. So coming up on 16 minutes, it's a long video and it's a dry video, and I try to make it entertaining, but it doesn't always work. So enjoy your workout. I'll talk to you guys soon, and remember, if you've got any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them right down here in the comments, or you can message me directly, and I'll do everything I can to get back to you. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.